everybody. Welcome again to my channel. So for those of you that are new to my channel, welcome aboard. If you're checking out my react, I am here to catch up on all things foodie beauty. So I just posted another react to another live that Chantal did, as well as a react to Melissa Gold Tarot. She did a couple of very short tarot readings on foodie, or rather people around foodie, like the housekeeper or the unfortunate person who got to get into the elevator with foodie. And thank you again, Melissa, for posting those short videos because they were very informative. So today for this react, I am reacting to Chantal's live where she titled it French Food in Bangkok. Very interesting. She's in Bangkok and she could be tasting all the wonderful cuisine in Thailand. And there certainly is a lot of it. Her name is Foodie Beauty, is it not? So if you have the name Foodie Beauty, and if you're claiming to be a foodie, wouldn't you be interested in all different kinds of food? Because most foodies, people who call themselves foodies, they're all about knowing how the food is made, where it comes from, where it is sourced from. I mean, they really get deep into it. They really want to know everything there is to know about the food. But Chantal likes fast food. So she is neither a foodie nor a beauty, because anybody watching her, we know that she does not even have a beautiful soul. So I want to go over the live where she gets a bit snippy and snappy at people. She looks to be under the influence of something. What she's under the influence of, I cannot say. I do not know, but I bet I can guess. I know that she's got access to edibles there in Thailand, so maybe that's it. She got on live and she ate a brownie. I'm wondering if it was a special brownie with something added. But whatever the cause, whatever the reason, she is in an altered state. And she's going to talk to us, and I'm here to react to what it is she has to say. Before we get into it, though, let's get to all the wonderful clips on Twitter from all the wonderful people on Twitter and just catch up on all the Twitter stuff, because you guys know I like to go on Twitter and find all the interesting tidbits and add them to my reacts. So those of you that are not on Twitter, you guys can stay caught up. So let's just do that. Okay. So we're going to get into that. Okay. So for anybody in my audience, you happen to be on Twitter X and you would like to follow me on Twitter X, there's my handle, Wild Girl Sarah. Sometimes YouTube, they drop the ball with notifications. I don't know why. But if you're someone and you want to stay caught up with all my content, whenever I do a live or a video, I post it on Twitter as well. So if you're on Twitter, you might be able to catch up with things if YouTube isn't doing their job properly, which is often. So let's start here with Foodie Beauty's emotional support car. I love the names you guys come up with. This person says, it makes perfect sense that a woman who missed her husband and pets lengthened her stay in Bangkok. Tell us again, Chantal, how this is not a visa run. Also, why is Salah not there? And here's an interesting question to add to that emotional support car. Why is it that Chantal's in Thailand, but Salah recently said in chat he's going to Spain? You know, Thailand, Spain, not close together. Why would he be going to a different area than Chantal? If they're really married, wouldn't he want to be with his wife? Even if she was sick, wouldn't he want to be in Thailand with her to take care of her, make sure she's okay, at least be emotional support, if nothing else? But no, he's talking about going to Spain. Also, in the last react that I did, Chantal revealed that she is going to be staying longer than normal in Thailand, which begs the question, why would she want to do that? She's not really fond of Thailand. It's entirely too hot for her. So is the thinking that maybe she's just trying to stay as long as possible in Thailand? because she, at this point in time, can't afford to go home to Canada. She doesn't have the money or the means to go back to Canada to, say, stay in a Motel 6. Because to stay in a Motel 6 room is very expensive. It's more expensive than if she were to, say, get a house or an apartment in Canada. Somebody, forgive me if I can't give proper credit to this person, but I did see a Twitter post somewhere. Somebody saying that to stay in a Motel 6 room for over a month would cost her over $3,000. And the average cost of rent in Canada for, say, a 1 bedroom or even a 2 bedroom would be about $1,700 to $2,000 a month. So staying in a Motel 6 would definitely be a lot more expensive. Although Chantal doesn't have the money to put down for first and last months, turn on utilities, that sort of thing. So maybe she's just hanging on to Thailand because at this point in time with her money, she can't afford to go back home. So she's hanging around Thailand a little bit longer because she doesn't know what else to do and she doesn't know where else to go. So this clip from Mrs. Robinson says, seems like Kuwait said no visa for you, cutie. Let's watch.
I'm still here, Drago, because I have a return date on my ticket. And I might have to, I'm going to change it though. If I do change it, it's going to be even longer.
And again, the question is on the table, Chantal. If you're married and you have a husband and you miss your husband and you miss your pets and you want to be back in Kuwait, why stay in Thailand longer? Now, those of us that have been watching Chantal for years, we know that when it comes to uncomfortable situations, she won't stay overly long unless she has to. Unless she absolutely has to. So if she's in Thailand where she does not want to be, why stay there? Unless she has to be there and there's no other place to be. Theory. I think if things between her and Salah are over, which that's the feeling, that they are definitely over. Maybe she hasn't figured out how to tell us. She hasn't figured out in her mind how to frame things to make it seem like she's a victim or beyond her control or whatnot. She's going to hang around in Thailand until she does figure it out. But I think if she's staying in Thailand longer and not going directly home to Canada, maybe it's also because of her past history with abandoning pets. Maybe she doesn't want the heat or the backlash of if she goes home to Canada and it's over. There are going to be questions like, what is going to happen to Julia? What's going to happen to Harry the hamster? She's already abandoned 2 pets in Canada, BBJ and Sam, although in my opinion, I think that was fate intervening and stepping in, because part of Chantal's bad karma has been not hitting her. And sometimes that might happen if the good and the innocent are essentially in the way. Sometimes karma might hold off a bit until the good and the innocent are out of the way. So BBJ got a wonderful new home. So did Sam. They were the good and the innocent in her world. Once they got out of the picture, things really started to hit her. Things really started popping off. And now there's Julia and Harry the hamster. I don't know if Harry is still around, but Chantal never got Julia fixed. I think she always suspected that she would abandon Julia, and that's why she never put any money into Julia getting her fixed, getting her groomed, having her nails clipped. She probably always looked at Julia as just a prop for her content. And at some point, she was going to abandon her as well. So maybe she doesn't want the backlash yet of people in her chat that love animals, that love pets, coming to her and saying, what about your pets? What are you doing about those? Are you going to have Julia fixed and sent to you in Canada? She doesn't want to hear it right now. So she's just temporarily putting it off until she figures out what to do. Moving on to Queen of WTF, saying she is so freaking high. Look at her. Do I even have to turn on the audio? Let's keep the audio off for a minute. Look at Chantal. Look at her. Look. Audio off. What do you think? You think she's high? I think she's high. I think she took an edible or two or more than two. She's feeling it right now. I don't know why she insists on coming on camera this way, but she does. But you know what? Let's turn the audio on and see what she has to say.
Just be nice to each other. Just suspend all of your judgments against each other just for this one stream. Just for this 1 hour. Just suspend all, like, this person, you don't like them in the chat. Like, just for the harmony, just who cares? Who gives a shit?
Do y'all hear what I hear? She sounds so out of breath. Is it because she took something that raised her heart rate and that's why she's a little bit on the breathless side? Maybe. But look at her. She can't. She can't even look at the chat. She's like this. Yeah, she just what? For the life of me, I don't understand why someone like Chantal that likes to relax, that likes to chill, why she would take something that puts her in a chilled down state. And then she goes on live where she has to focus. And then there's this energy of being stressed out. Why would you take something to relax you and then put yourself in a situation where you are not relaxed? I mean, I don't understand her. She's stupid. Okay, now this is something cool from Psych Wizard. Psych Wizard says, at the end of the day, it's your long-term friends who have seen multiple versions of you and loved you unconditionally through each version. Ain't that the truth? When you got a friend, when you got a real one, they've seen all the versions of you there is to see. They've seen your happy side, your sad side, your depressed side, your angry side, your cranky side, your stressed out side. They've seen every version of you there is. And they love you regardless. They still want to talk to you. And you know you've got a real one when you've got that kind of a friend that if you're having a bad moment at say 1 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, you need someone to talk to, you can pick up the phone and call that friend and they're not going to be mad. Real friends will understand. They may be waking up out of a sound sleep and being a bit cranky, but they'll be there for you. That's a real one. So I love that from Psych Wizard. Ghost Crab says Chantal let it slip that she might have to stay longer in Kuwait than necessary. I wonder if they meant Thailand. I wonder how she's going to explain that. We'll probably say it's private, but we all know it's a visa run. I hope the visa gets denied, as do I. Raise your hand if anybody out there watching this, you're sick. Absolutely just sick to death of the whole Kuwait arc. It's gone on too long. It has not been interesting. It is so incredibly painfully boring. We are done. Stick a fork in me. I'm done. I'm not just burned by this Kuwait arc. I am burnt. I'm burnt. I'm so burnt. Chantal wants the reactors to stay on her and cover her at the same time. She's not providing any entertaining content. And Chantal, as someone that I have a channel, I like to make things interesting for the people that come here. I am mindful of the things that I react to and I expose people to. I feel a sense of responsibility for my audience. And I listen to people. If they say, this person's too boring, I can't take it. I listen, I hear. I take that in a heavy consideration. Your entire income is YouTube. And there are people in your own audience, your own beezers saying, we're bored. We don't like Salah. And yet you won't end it. Granted, if you went back to Canada, do I think the content would be much more interesting? Probably not. Maybe just a little bit, a hair, but not by much. And why is that? The why is in how you are right now. When you left Canada over 2 years ago, almost 3, you were about 200 pounds lighter. You had more mobility. You had a little bit more of your health. You could breathe better. And here we are 3 years later, almost 3. You're much more unhealthy. You're pretty much housebound. You're about 50 pounds away from being bedbound. If you came back to Canada now, you would not be coming back the same person or better than when you left. You would still be floating on the past vapors of your past success. You're thinking because you've got the name Foodie Beauty and you've been on camera for 8 years that holds some kind of weight on YouTube. That just because you've been on YouTube for that long, it means no matter what you do, people should watch you. No, they actually shouldn't. Why? Because there's much more entertaining people on YouTube. There's a lot more things going on besides you. You are not the be all end all of YouTube. And the more you become boring, the more boring that you stay, the greater the chance that the reactors are going to say, there's nothing to talk about here. And I've got to keep it pushing. I've got a channel. I want to entertain my audience. I want to keep them intrigued. I want to introduce them to new and exciting things. Those of us that are reactors, we care more about our audience and our content than you do. So if the audience says, I'm bored, I can't watch her anymore. If the majority of people coming to your audience and your comments say that, you pay attention. And you start looking around for different locales or different things to review and to expose people to positive things, perhaps. I plan on doing that. There's somebody I'm looking at is going to be a positive react to her. And I'm very happy to put eyes on her channel because she seems like a really nice person. But for now, I'm still covering you. But I got to be honest. I don't understand how somebody can do 2 or 3 hours for a live. And out of like a 2-hour or 3-hour live, there's not much in the way of talking points. You're just laying in a room in your bed with your head up against the headboard, putting a dent in it, ceiling, babbling about pretty much nothing because you go nowhere and you're not doing anything despite the fact that you're in Thailand. So you make a decision, Chantal, what you want to do. But if you get so boring that the reactors say bye, don't get mad. Just don't get mad. Don't get mad. I think Chantal is going to stay in Thailand as long as she can until she has to leave. I think right now she's able to put it out of mind because it's not an immediate concern. But the closer it gets to the time when she has to leave, the more she's going to stress out. I already know how it's going to go, and I'm saying it way ahead of time. You guys can clock me on this and clock her as well. Chantal's got patterns. When she knows she has to travel, when she knows she has to get up and move and do something, you can always clock it by her eating. When she starts thinking about travel and going somewhere new and doing something new and coming up with a new arc, the eating does increase. She's an emotional eater. She eats her feelings. So if you see the food intake go up, there's your flag. There it is. It means she's probably going to have to travel soon, or she's thinking about the travel and she doesn't know how to cope yet. So keep that in mind and keep an eye on her food because trust me, I got a feeling like she said she's going to be in Thailand for another 6 weeks. So I would say in another month, the food intake is going to go up, way up. And she's going to get more unhinged and not know what to do. Unless she files for an extension, and even then she might put it off. All right. Positive call mindset coach says people who can't communicate think everything is an argument. People who lack accountability think everything is an attack. The timing of this post, because that is Chantal. That is Chantal. She can't properly communicate, so everything for her is an argument. She can't have a discussion. She can't have a debate. When people come into her chat and they're just trying to tell her things, it becomes an argument in her mind. And if people give her constructive criticism, it's not constructive criticism that she should think on and act on. It's an attack. So words to live by. Misanthrope Lulu says the exact moment Cutie realized she's never been in her life been held tight ever. Her face says it all. Let's watch.
Very immature. Come hold me tight. So,
and you know what, Chantal? If you want to be held tight, you could make that into a personal goal. Ask yourself, what would it take for someone to hold me tight? What would I have to do for myself? What work do I have to do on myself to make that happen? Maybe I need to work on my mind. Maybe I need to work on my soul. Maybe I need to work on my social graces. Maybe I need to work on my hygiene. Maybe all of the above and more. Put the shoe on the other foot for just a second. Imagine you were not you and you were somebody else looking at you. Let's just say you were a man looking at you. If you were a man looking at you, would you want to hold you? Would you want to hold a woman who farts and burps and doesn't bathe and doesn't wash their clothes and stinks to high heaven? Probably not. So if you want a man to hold you and hold you tight and hold you up and be proud of you, you got to be worth it. You got to have some pride and some self-worth. You can't just run around acting feral and thinking somebody wants to hold you tight, because nobody will. Misanthrope Lulu also says, jump scare, when even the makeup can't save you anymore. Woof. Oh my. Look, I'm not trying to be mean here, but I'm older than Chantal, and she looks older than me. Forget the weight. Forget the weight for just a second. Chantal, you look pale. You look very, very sick. You've got eye bags. You're supposed to be on vacation. It looks like you need a vacation from your vacation. I mean, you look very, the word that comes to mind is haggard. How can you be in a beautiful place like Thailand that's relaxing and be so haggard? But yeah, I guess you're doing that. Shenanigans says, no, Chantal, we don't know. There was absolutely no reason to bring up someone's sexuality. We know you only did that to berate him. Why does it matter? Let's watch the clip.
I wasn't using gay as an insult.
Lies. Lies. Yes, she was. Lies. Lies. Sometimes it's not what you say, but how you say it that matters. The tone. And her tone was hateful. It was so hateful. And there's no reason to go after, oh, Lordy, it's Jordy. His live chats are very calm. People are entertained. He seemed like a really nice guy. And Chantal, she likes to go low. She likes to find the lowest of the low to try to insult somebody. At the same time, she forgets that girl world, we got receipts of her during Pride Week claiming to be gay / bisexual, saying she wanted to date a woman, talk about she wanted to take a woman out to dinner. We got all those receipts, Chantal, all of them. So how could you, someone that you did all of that during Pride Week, go after somebody and insinuate that they're gay? What does that have to do with being a reactor? What does that have to do with somebody sitting in a chair, talking to people in a chat room? Who cares what the sexuality is? That's for them. That's personal, not your business. None of it has nothing to do with the way the person reacts to you.
I was waiting to see if someone would say something like that. Because
And during this French food live, she was tripping all over her tongue trying to backtrack because you don't do that. You don't go after somebody's sexuality, no matter what it is. So she knows she messed up. She knows she messed up. And so here she is trying to backtrack, roll backwards because she knows she said too much.
Just asking if he was.
But why do you care though? What? You weren't asking the question. It wasn't like this. It wasn't this way, Chantal. Not that it's in your business, but you didn't say, I don't know, oh lordy and shorty. I was wondering, is he a gay man? That's curiosity. The way you said it was so hateful tone from you. Like I said, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. The wording, the tone, you were being nasty. Really nasty.
Because like in my mind, like it just blurted out because I wasn't.
But what does that matter?
Is he really? Like I never had that.
But what does that matter?
Confirmed? I guess not that it matters, but I'm just curious. Like every human being.
Why are you curious about a man who is not your husband? Why? You're supposed to be a married woman focused only on your husband. What do you care if another man that you don't know, that you never talked to, is gay or straight or any other thing? Girl, shut up. Shut up.
You know?
Okay. So that's Chantal being ridiculous. All right. So we're all caught up with the Twitter stuff. That didn't take long. That's good. So we're going to go on to her live and we're going to jump around a lot. Look, before a word is even said, look at her face. Just look at it. Look at it. Chantal, how many edibles did you take? How many? Somebody showed the bag of the edibles that you buy. And there's a total of 150 milligrams of edibles for the entire bag. Did you eat an entire bag? Are you eating like a bag or two at a time? What's going on with you? We'll find out. Let's go, y'all.
Hello, spiced cinnamon apples. I always see new names in here every live. It's very
she
cool.
keeps turning off the chat. That's her new thing, I guess. She turns off the option of chat. I hate that. I like reacting to things that people say. Boo, Chantal, boo, you took part of my fun away. It's bad enough that you edit the comments in your comments section because I like to react to those too. Now you're turning off the chat. You suck. Boo.
Cool, but like they're always funny. And they make me laugh. Simply Krista.
Anybody got any cheese and a couple of buns and some lettuce and tomato because she's got hamburger eyes.
Rosalia. Salut. Ça va? Babe. Zaya. Gabrielle. Jessica. Babe gets this. Good morning, Annette. Hey, Cloud Strife. Sam. Sam. You just got off work having some beers. Nice. Pound them back. Make sure they're cold. I look much better.
No, she doesn't. Why y'all lying to her?
Hi, Oogali. Tattoo chick. I look and sound so much better?
No, she doesn't. She just sounds high.
Really? I find it look gross. Everyday life? Yeah, I ordered dinner. Okay, here's what I have.
Nobody cares. You know what I would love? I would love it if the chat posed a challenge to her and said, the next live that you do, Chantal, do the entire thing without food, talking about food, eating food. I wonder if she'd actually do it. She probably wouldn't, but it would be funny if the chat said, if you either do a live without food or we're walking. I wonder if she would.
It's called coquillette. It's French food. I was craving.
Oh God, there's that word. I hate that word. Craving. I was craving this. I was craving that. She uses the word craving as a means to excuse what she shouldn't be doing. You can crave something and not do it. You can say no to yourself. That's what being an adult is all about. You have impulse control, you have self-control, and you say, I want to do this, but maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should not do this. She doesn't know how to do that yet.
French fruit, French food, because I really love French food and I don't have really good, authentic French food. What the heck is this? Milk in a jug. We're off to a good start. Les croutons. No. C'est tout, là. Anyway, we'll see if it's good French food. My favorite.
Oh, by the way, since we're here, didn't Chantal talk about a budget? Didn't she tell us all that she was on some sort of a budget? Didn't she say that she was going to challenge herself to only spend a certain amount per day? Well, I guess that's out the window. She's getting all kinds of takeout.
French food. I like.
And you know what, Chantal, since you're buying all this doggone takeout, one right after the other, 3 or 4 times a day, how dare you be cheap and not tip the housekeepers that are working hard to keep your pigsty clean? If you can spend $40, $50 on takeout a day, maybe more, you can't throw down $5 or $10 for the housekeepers because you're making them work real hard. They're not just coming in and picking up a couple of pieces of garbage and putting them in the trash can. You're making them fill up entire garbage bags and unplug your toilet and fix the AC that you keep breaking. How can you make people work that hard and not give a tip? Rude.
Cookie Saint-Jacques, saumon au béchamel, French onion soup. Oh, you have to assemble your own soup. Oh my God. I don't feel like doing this right now. Okay, it's in a bag. Like, could you not just... Oh my God. All right. Yallah, bismillah. It's not baked. I'm really annoyed right now.
And I just want to point this out really quick. I'm sure a lot of you already know this already, but for those that don't, Chantal is staying in the hotel room, and it is possible to rent a microwave. Like if she really wanted to save money, a lot of money, what she could do is rent the microwave for, I don't know, like $25 a month. I don't know how much it is there. Probably not that much. But she could just buy meals and put them in her mini fridge and then heat them up in the microwave and save so much money on takeout. For someone who's on a budget, she's blowing it.
Oh, how am I going to eat this? Let's see what they give you. Potato. So I ordered French onion soup, mashed potatoes, and a French style pasta. Oh, the mashed potatoes look decent. It has to be baked. And why don't you give me French bread instead of crouton? Ah, here's the Gruyere cheese. Wait a minute.
Just what she needs. She has no gallbladder. She's got cheese. Okay.
Is this cheese? Ah, this is for the soup. So it's like coldish because it took a while, but what is this for? Mash looks nice and creamy. Like it pisses me off.
Well, you know what? You can't get mad. You can't get mad at people for delivering your food, Chantal. They were just delivering it as you ordered it. And if you get soup in a bag, it's just soup in a bag. Just pour it into a bowl. If you had a microwave, you could heat it up real quick. Same thing with the rest of your food. Maybe it's time to invest $25 a month in having a microwave right there, so you're not complaining about how cold the food is. And if you want the food to be hot, if you would just not be unhealthy, you could actually go to the restaurant and get it hot and fresh. You know that word fresh. You use it a lot.
Everybody I missed. Sorry. Let me just. So this is a classic French pasta. So it has on.
Will you guys excuse me if I scoot ahead? I don't like this show and tell with the food. It's boring to me. Is it boring to you guys? Because it's boring to me. I don't care to see every single thing she bought, every single thing she's going to eat. Pfft, who cares? We're moving ahead. I could care less.
Here, you're not. You don't pay my bills.
Ooh, she got spicy. Back it up. Back it up.
It wasn't that expensive. Actually. Bueno, Provencio.
I really hate the fact that she turned off the chat. Why did she do that?
Gracias. Is that the right what to say? The bread absorbed all the soup. Yummy. Oh my gosh. Babe, I have to make you French onion. I have to make you French food. I don't know if you would like it though. Something. Oh, you like poutine. But I mean like French food from France. Inspired anyway. Yeah. But not halal.
Why does she have to do that? Why is it when she's eating, she has to lean into the camera and like take a bite? Why can't she lean back and just eat the normal way? She's getting way too close to the camera when she's eating. I don't want to see what's going in her mouth.
So I'm eating the vegetarian options.
Like that helps.
Yes, Jessica's always wise. Yeah, I did, Jessica. It's good, eh?
Dang, she finished that whole thing in like a few bites? Holy crap.
Points for giving you a bowl. Yeah. Bechamel. That sounds really good too. No, it's French onion soup. Potatoes. They're so good.
I wonder how many of her feedies are paying for her meals in Thailand. Maybe it's the same guy that convinced her that sealing is the way to go.
That and the soup are really good. I'm not really feeling the pasta that much. I should have got like just the potatoes and the soup. It's just kind of bland.
Notice what she's doing, y'all. She's not even making a plate where she gets several things. She's got a plate and she puts a little bit of everything she wants to eat on the plate. It's like from one thing to the next thing to the next thing. That's why she has no idea of portion control. Her idea of portion control is whatever's in the bucket, whatever's in the box. Like, how can you possibly keep track of what you're eating if you're not even mindful of your portions? Portion control for her is when she gets to a point where she can't eat another bite, then she's done.
Like, I don't know how they made this a dish. Like, there's not really any cheese.
So many complaints.
I hope Salah knows that many of us beezers like him and accept him as he is. There will always be haters, but people who really care for Chantal will care about Salah also. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, and if you don't approve of our relationship, I don't really care. You don't pay my bills.
Neither does he. He doesn't pay your bills either. You pay your bills and his bills.
You're not, no offense.
And if we're going to get real, and we are, who pays Chantal's bills? Not her. She doesn't work. She doesn't earn the money. that pays for her food, that pays for her bills, that's paying for her hotel accommodations. You know who pays her bills? The Beezers. Where would she be without YouTube? Where would she be without her feedies? All of this is crowdsourced and crowdfunded. She didn't work hard for this. She can't say, I worked hard for this. I worked for so many hours for so many weeks, and I saved the money and I put it away and I budgeted and I earned this. She can't say that. She can't say it.
Yes, but
And I want you to keep that in mind, Beezers. I want you to think really, really, really hard. If any of you come over here, just think about it. You don't have to like me. I'm not for everybody, and I'm okay with that. But just think really, really hard about that. The fact that this person, Foodie Beauty, she has a YouTube channel. And where most of you that are Beezers, you have jobs. You have lives, you have families. You have to pay your bills and pay your rent. You got to work very, very hard to do it. Right? Right. You got to go to work every day. You got to punch in, punch out. And then after work is done, you got to battle traffic, come home, cook dinner, take care of the kids, do all that good stuff. Yeah, here's Chantal. She doesn't work. She doesn't have a regular job. She doesn't have to schedule her lives and such around a work schedule of some sort. She's got more freedom with her life than the rest of you do. And all that she has to do really is make interesting content, and she won't even do that for y'all. If I were you Beezers, I would be completely ticked off about that. The fact that all of you give her the freedom that you yourselves do not have, so that she can do whatever she wants, and she can't even get enough energy together, put enough thought to make members only content or interesting lives and find something fun to do. I know she's sick. I know she's in her room, but you can find something interesting to do in your room, right? You can think your way around a problem, and she's not doing it. So while all of you that are Beezers, you're going out and working and making your money and rubbing 2 pennies and nickels and dimes together, just trying to make ends meet, and there's nothing wrong with that. We all struggle. There's no shame in the struggle. She's over here, and the only struggles that she goes through are the struggles she puts herself through. She's not grateful to y'all. She's not thankful to y'all. She's taking you for granted because you're there.
it definitely needs salt. And it wouldn't need salt if it had cheese. It's supposed to have Emmental cheese. Yeah, thanks, Rosalia. And he doesn't need your approval either. Thank you. There's people in this community who have done a lot shittier to a lot of other people, so they need to shut up.
And this is what Chantal does. She does the whataboutisms. What about this person? What about that person? What about what they've done? And she does that to try to excuse the things that she has said and the things that she has done. It's one of those look over here, don't look over there tactics. Don't look at me. Don't pay attention to the things that I've done that are completely rotten and evil. Don't look at me. Go look over here. Look at these reactors. Look what they've done. Look at everything they've done. Pay attention to that. Hate on them so that you're not paying attention to who I really am and what I'm really about. She's constantly painting herself the victim. As long as she's painting herself the victim and the Beezers are eating it up like candy and believing her, they would never, ever consider the idea, the thought that this woman is a predator. She preys on people. She preys on the weak. She preys on the broken. She hurts people. She uses people. She's been doing it her whole life. Even before YouTube, she was doing it. I mean, anybody can go back to, say, the Kiwi Farms or different videos where she's talking, and she'll tell you in her own words, out of her own mouth, how when she was young, she stalked 2 teenage boys. to the point where the boy's father came out of the house and said, "You need to go home or I'm calling the cops." And she once hid in a man's bedroom waiting for him to come home. Is this normal behavior? No. But she's been this way her whole life. It's just gotten worse. But don't pay attention to that. Don't pay attention to her being a predator. Think of her as a victim. The greatest trick that the devil ever played on man was convincing man he did not exist. And the greatest trick that Chantal's playing on her own Beezers is making herself seem like the eternal victim when she's not. She's a predator.
I'm gonna stop being judgmental. Hi, Robin. Like, the only person who should be mad is me. So.
Mad at him for what? Tell us.
I guess technically, right? I'm eating it because I want to get my money's worth. That's why.
You're eating it because you want to get your money's worth, or because a feedie paid you to eat that? Did they pay for your meal? Probably.
I should have rented a microwave.
Yeah, you should have, but you didn't. All that money wasted for what?
Sorry, I'm sassy.
No, you're not. You're stupid.
Hey, Hello Kitty.
Does she have to eat like that? Moving on.
Do you have pasta dishes in France? No, I haven't. Strawberries and cream. I'm sorry to hear that. Love is not a feeling. It is a choice, a commitment. It's something you work on. Yeah, you have to have like the initial feeling there. You have to love the person, you know, but it takes like the relationship takes work. A relationship can not only survive on love, and it's complicated. It's not black and white. So to sit there and say, oh, see, this person doesn't love you because of this. No, because like I said many times, I've cheated so many times and I've always loved the person.
I've cheated so many times, but I always loved the person. If you love the person, why did you cheat, you big idiot? Love is trust. Love is respect. If you love your partner, whoever that might have been at the time, why would you do something so heinous, so low, that you would step out of the relationship and go be with another person and spread your legs? If you love your partner, why would you go low like that and do that? You are a cheater. You cheated on Pete, you cheated on BB, and you are scared to death of people doing to you what you've done to others. So to prevent the backlash of your own karma, you try to control men. And you control them with money. But the whole cheating thing with you right now is ridiculous because A, you're not in a relationship with Salah. He's not emotionally tied or bonded to you. There's no attachment there. It's a business arrangement. So if it's a professional business transaction / arrangement, it's strictly professional. There's no cheating. Even when he was talking to Kai Bella, it wasn't cheating because he really wasn't into you. He just had to act on camera like he was for the sake of your arc. But if he's not committed in here to you, and he hasn't said, I really, really love you, I really, really want to be with you, this isn't just a YouTube thing, there's no cheating. And there's no relationship beyond a business relationship. You're trying to turn a business thing into a real life thing. It don't work like that. If Salah loved you, he would say, you know what, babe, keep your money. I don't want it. I don't want to live off you. I want to do for myself. I'm going to go out and I'm going to work hard and I'm going to make my own money. I don't want your money. I don't want you supporting me. I want to help. But it's never been about that, has it? You don't want it to be like that. You don't want him to have the option of being independent where he doesn't need you. Because the last time you were with somebody like that was BB, and what happened? He kicked you out of the house. That was the last man in your life worth anything. And you did not want a repeat of that situation. So every man after BB, you would made sure to put into a financially dependent, codependent situation to where they depended on your money and therefore they could not escape you. That's the only way you're able to keep a man around you, is to trap them with you. And you want to talk about love? Love doesn't do that.
That I was with. And so it's like, you know, it's not that black and white. People don't understand. Do some growing up and then come talk to us. And anyway, it's my personal life. It's my personal choice. I would have preferred not to have any controversy like that on the internet. Obviously, people who find that kind of thing entertaining and funny are sick in the head.
You know what? I don't want to hear a lecture from her. I don't want to hear this lecture today. I'm not sitting in class for this lecture. And if she tries to give it, I'm going to stand up out of my seat and school her a little bit. Because I've been around too long. You cannot give this lecture, Chantal. You can't. Want to know why? Because when you and BB broke up, you could have kept it private. I mean, really, really private. You could have just said a few things, said we're broken up and I got to move on, and left it at that. But you wanted to monetize everything. You came on camera and did a whole doggone video where you were crying and saying, we broke up and it's my fault. Remember that? And how much you missed BB, and does he still think about me? And even though you were with Natter, you were calling BB, and to make Natter jealous, you were going to BB's house where you were not wanted because you kept your stuff over there for over a year, and you did that on purpose so that you could always call BB when you wanted to. Miss, I got to get into his house for the purpose of leaving my stuff there so that the guy in question can't completely get rid of me and slam the door. You can't do that. You can't give that lecture. Inappropriate. Very inappropriate.
I really don't know what to tell you. So
the person who monetizes every single doggone thing she can, whether it's her breakups, who she's living with, who she wants to live with, her addictions to party favors, her problems with food, her STDs, her medical issues, going to the emergency room, the food that she eats. And she's going to criticize us for the content that she chooses to make and put out there in front of the public for the purpose of making money off the public? Nope. Nope. Your argument is invalid. When you decide to make things public in front of the public to make money off the public, your argument is invalid. Nope. 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 Can't do that.
That's just insane to me. That somebody's sister going and doing what they do. Like I don't understand that because I'm not a shit person like that.
Yes, you are.
I'm not a crappy person.
Oh, yes, you are.
To do that.
Ma'am, what you do to yourself is one thing. That's on you. But what you did to your pets, you lack a soul. The way you treated BBJ and Sam, you lack a soul. You actually came online, you disgusting, beastly monster, and you said out of your own doggone mouth, you said, I'm not taking my cats to the vet because it ticks off my haters. Those were your words, Chantal. I will never forget you saying that. The moment I heard those words, I was like, are you kidding me? Are you serious? So even though there are certain things you could do offline, and how are we going to know? Why is it going to matter? Denying your own pets medical care, vet visits, taking them to the groomers, getting their nails clipped, having proper food, because you ran out of food a lot back at the Canadian villa. Not changing the litter box for 3 months. Out of spite for Girl World? Having your pets come on camera looking unhappy and unwell and unclean and unbathed and ungroomed? Poor little BBJ could hardly walk because of the nails in her little toe pads. Just out of spite to strangers you don't know and you will never meet? You're a monster. You are a despicable monster. What you do to yourself is what you do to yourself. But affecting an innocent being who's done no wrong, who gives unconditional love and companionship, and they don't ask much, hurting them over and over and over again, making them suffer, putting them on camera in dirty, filthy conditions. You want people to see those filthy conditions. You want people to know that they've not been fed. I remember that whole arc, Chantal. I do, because I was there. You were, in essence, in a way, holding your audience hostage, because a lot of people were coming to your live streams for the purpose of making sure that the cats were okay. And I'll also never forget how Pete's ran out of food for the cats. And the big stupid idiot, the heartless idiot, didn't tell anybody for 2 freaking days. And then he finally did open his mouth. And some nice person sent a whole bunch of canned cat food so they could eat. And that really irritated you. You were trying to induce a medical emergency for BBJ. You were thinking if it happened, you could take her to the vet and she would be put down and the worst of your evils would not be found out. And they did get found out. Courtesy of French Fry Girl. And you had a complete meltdown about that. Not because somebody else had your cat and you missed her and you loved her, but because you're a rotten, evil biatch. And it was exposed. Your evil got exposed. So don't sit there and tell me you're not a crappy person. You suck.
That someone. So, yeah, whatever. I mean, like, okay, you got me. I'm moving on. Bye. You can stay in the past with the stinky farts, and I'm moving on, baby.
How can you move on if you can barely move? Answer me that.
It's pouring rain.
She says she's moving on at the same time she's working hard to be bedbound. So how can you move on if you're bedbound?
Yeah, and at the end of the day, Salah is very supportive.
No, he's not. He's an enabler. And he's only enabling you because of the money. That's it.
Always so concerned with me.
How is he going to be supportive of you if he goes to Spain? Answer me that too. I'm really curious. I've got questions. I'm a curious person, Chantal.
And I know he loves me.
No, he doesn't. Let's put that to the test. Take the money away. Stop sending him money. See what happens. I dare you.
And I know he's sorry. And I know he's super handsome. And I know we have a good future together if we work on it. So, yeah, you hear the rain, sweetest love of the 10th degree. I can't uncharge my phone, though. Ugh, I don't like the rain like you do. Do you mind if I sit like this?
Yes, I do mind. I hate you, ceiling. Can you please sit up?
All spry and sly.
What? All spry and sly. More like sluggish. And it's dark. Turn the light on.
Simply ravishing. But you guys cheer us up too, because we're like I said, we're a bit, down being away from each other for so long.
He's going to Spain. He don't care about you.
Oh, be quiet, Drago. Like, do I come for people's past first?
Yep, you sure do.
No, when? Who?
Here's a tell for Chantal. When she says, where's the proof? That's when you know she's caught. And she said, where's the proof? I did this, this, and this. Where's the proof? Then you know you caught her.
Oh, hi, Shani and Rev.
Oh, God. No. So Shani and Rev came into the chat. Anybody's been on YouTube for a minute, you know who Shani and Rev are. They're despicable. And Chantal hangs with them. She's a mod in their chat. So show me who you hang with and I'll show you who you are.
Honey, when I come for someone's past, it's because they come from my past all the time. And I don't go out of my way to go message married men. Number one, I would never be a shitty loser to do that.
You are a loser. You know what? I'm so glad that I've been reacting to her for so long because I know more about Chantal than I wish I did know. I remember so many things about her, including this. For those that don't know, who weren't around at that time, Chantal, can we talk about how you were in Canada and you were not only talking to a married man with kids, you were having an affair with him. And you said because his wife was in another country, the cheating doesn't count. You were gloating over the fact that you were with a married man. So sitting there and saying, oh, I would be a loser if I messaged a married man. You were involved with one, girl. What are you talking about?
I've learned, I've done shitty things in my past.
You're still doing them. What do you mean?
Growing up, I would never, ever, ever, and I know people are going to say, oh, the Turkish guy, I've already explained that. I would never do that. Now I've grown as a person. That's all that matters. I would never do something like that for entertainment, or I would never have a channel discussing how someone's laying in bed and their their habits of crapping.
There's no self-awareness here. Is she aware of the fact that by insulting us over what we comment on, she's also insulting herself? She's basically saying, yes, my content is boring. I'm not doing anything. I'm just laying in bed, gaining weight, being sick. I have no motivation to go anywhere. I am making my content boring. And then she's getting a sense of hostility over us commenting on her boring behavior. She's insulting herself. I would never do these things. Yet she wants to be the center of attention. I remember very clearly how, I forget exactly what it is she did, but there were at least a couple of times where a lot of people were on Twitter and on YouTube saying they were going to do a blackout of Chantal. So what is a blackout? A blackout is when a lot of reactors say, I'm not reacting to Chantal for a certain period of time. You would think that would have made Chantal very, very happy because she always says, I wish they would just all go away and stop reacting to me. But her reaction was interesting because she freaked out. Like, who do they think they are? And they can't stop reacting to me. So even though she swears she doesn't want our attention, she really, really does. Because I think that she is aware enough on the inside to know that the reactors are the only thing keeping her interesting. She's not doing it on her own.
The pattern that their bidet makes when they leave the bathroom, like, grow up. Like, really? Like, how can you find that?
At the same time, you talk to us about your bodily functions and go into the bathroom and about the bidet. So, like, these are the talking points you give us, Chantal. We're just responding.
Entertaining and not think, oh my gosh, I'm not winning in life. What limit? What does it take? What does it take to take the L for you guys in Gore World? Take the L.
Why don't you take it? Why don't you take the L and just do something you've never done before, Chantal? Give us something we've never seen from you before. The truth. Stop lying. You've given us all kinds of lies the last 8 years. Take the L and tell us the truth. Be truthful. Tell us, hey, I'm in Thailand. I don't know what I'm going to do. I put myself in a bit of a corner because I don't have the money to go back to Canada and live. I haven't figured things out yet. I'm in Thailand. I'm in a hotel and I'm going to stay here as long as I can because I don't know what's going on right now. That would be taking the L, but also being truthful. You'd be showing us something we've never seen before out of you, but you'll never do it because the most important thing to you is your face. Like putting on this false face of everything's okay. I've got a husband. He loves me. Nothing's wrong. We know something is wrong. Even if you don't tell us, even if you tell us a bunch of lies, believe it or not, you're a very expressive person. You give yourself away. You're not a good liar. You don't have the poker face. You give yourself away. Your words say one thing, your expressions and your body language say another. Things are not okay. You are sick. Something happened between you and Salah. You're not ready to talk about it. That's fine. But we know it's over. It is over. We could tell by your behavior. We could tell by his behavior. All that's needed is that for you to admit it. But maybe you won't because the next step would be, where do I go from here? And you don't know.
You're now excusing friggin' Scabba Underground's friggin' naming her dog after her baby daddy being a friggin' pedo. Take the L. Like, you're just going too far. Like, seriously, what the heck, man? Anyway, because you're not affecting my life. You're just destroying Gore World. You're all crap. And it's all coming out. It's a crap habit. Like, seriously, wallah. Yeah, you're better off not knowing them. I believe the haters channels are a free advertising for you, baby. You are their CEO, the manager for them. No, yeah, I know, but like, you know what I mean? It's, yeah, at this point, yeah. Yeah. And I accept it as part of being a YouTuber. I accept that there's always going to be shit people like that.
You know what, Chantal? If you want our praise, do something praiseworthy. I and other people that are reactors, and I'm not speaking for them. They have voices and they can speak for themselves, but you want praise from people, whether it's a reactor or somebody in your audience, but you don't do anything praiseworthy. And there's a lot of us, we're not going to co-sign on your BS. If you're on camera, being a food addict, gaining weight, looking unhealthy, monetizing your food addiction, that's not okay. You shouldn't be doing that to yourself. You shouldn't be exposing people on YouTube to that. It sends a very dangerous message. If you're somebody and you want to get on YouTube and make money, start eating a bunch of food. You might make it, you may not. But the backlash to that is the health problems, the lack of mobility, the bad breathing. There's always a price to pay in life for everything. And you traded 100% of your health for a series of paychecks. And you don't even have anything to show for all the time you've been on YouTube, all the arcs that you've created, all the drama. You've exposed us to everything you can. When you were in Canada, you did every extreme thing you could think of. And I knew even at that time that eventually you would hit the ceiling with ideas. Like there would be nowhere else to go. And you did. You showed us every part of your body. You were flashing us. You were taking the chemicals. the party favors, you were acting inappropriately, you were raging at people, you did everything. And the only direction to go after that is back down and be modest. And that would be shocking. And for a minute, it was. But now you've run out of ideas. You don't know what else to do. You don't know what to make into an entertaining arc. You've arrived at a place of stagnation where you don't know what to do. You don't know what to do. Yet your income is YouTube. And you got to figure it out or not. But beyond the YouTube income, what about your health? What about your health? You don't care about that either. You've arrived at a place of, I quit. I don't want to fight anymore. I just want to let whatever is going to happen, happen. And that is your choice. That's what you're choosing to do.
And there's nothing you can do. I've accepted it as part of the job, but I feel like I still have a right to say some things once in a while. The problem is, yeah, it's not worth my attention. I know. Have you been to any temples?
No. No, she hasn't.
Yeah. Let's be. Did you order any desserts? No, I'm not eating desserts, Rosalia. I don't need desserts right now. No, thank you. I wasn't using gay as an insult. I was waiting to see if someone would say something like that. Because
oh, wait a minute, that was important. That was important. That was an admittance right there. She admitted something. She just admitted that she purposely said what she said about, oh Lordy, it's Shorty, to get a rise out of people, to get a reaction. I was waiting to see what people would say. She's just admitted it. She knew what was coming out of her mouth would be offensive and she didn't care. She just wanted to get a reaction. Imagine being so desperate for attention that you're willing to go that low and be that offensive. But here's where you got it wrong, Chantal. Like I said, you talking about, oh Lordy, it's Jordy, you're just helping his channel. The things you say in your chat, you think you're hurting just that person that you're talking about. Really, you're hurting yourself because you're showing everybody in your chat or even on the reaction side how hateful you are. And it's such a turn off because decent people don't want to be around hateful people. They don't. You make it your business to show every bit of your ugly.
I was just asking if
you weren't asking. Stop it. You weren't asking in a inquisitive, curious way. You're being hateful and mean with it.
Because like in my mind, like it just blurted out because I wasn't like, is he really? Like I never had that confirmed.
Why do you need confirmation? It's not your business. Shut up.
Matters, but I'm just curious. Like every
but
human
why?
being,
You're not interested in dating Jordy, so why are you asking that question? It's not your business. Shut up.
Yeah, my head is a bit sweaty sometimes, especially outside walking around. My face gets red and I get sweaty and I hate it. So this fancy French food is probably
back to the food. So somebody brought up what she said about Jordy and she's going to divert attention over to, let's talk about food. Look over here, though. Look over there.
Better eaten in a
Deflection.
Because
Deflection. I'm in a corner, so let's deflect so I can get out of the corner.
The quality is not that great when you get it here. You get bright red. My plan is to go to bed because it's 8:45, so in a few hours, maybe 7:11. No. It was a serious question from her. No offense. What was the question and what was I talking about?
Nothing important. Keep it on. Keep moving.
I forget. What was the question? Because they deleted it because I wasn't using that as an insult. That's how you took it. That's not what I meant. That's not my problem. My
Ooh, snapping at her own chat. That's going to make people love you more.
husband stepped out way worse than Salah, and we are moving forward. 14 years of marriage isn't worth a fuzzy when he was shown he made a mistake and has worked to make it right. Yeah.
See, the thing is, here's where the person in the chat that they don't get it. Maybe they just walked into the party. Salah is, even though he's not in a relationship with Chantal, so anything he does, anybody he talks to is invalid because they're not really committed to each other. But he's on his fourth offense. Okay, four, not just one, four. The first time Chantal got mad at him, she found a picture of another woman on his phone, which again shouldn't matter if it's just a business relationship, but she did get mad at him. The second offense was the Red Room picture. For those who have not seen it, maybe you've heard of it, like what's going on with the Red Room picture. It was a picture, it was like a red background of Salah in bed with a young woman, and she looked like she was naked underneath the sheet. That picture was edited to protect her identity, but it was on Twitter for a minute. So that was his second offense. Then there was Kybella, and I believe there was another one. So there was the person on the phone, the picture. Second offense was the Red Room picture. Third was Kybella. And there was something weird that happened the last time when they were in Thailand. I don't know exactly what happened. Chantal kind of talked about it in a weird way. She mentioned like something on the TV. So whatever it is that occurred, there was a whole lot of tension between him and her. So he's on his fourth offense. Not one, four. Four. Even though they really aren't offenses because they're not committed. But still, in her mind, they count as offenses.
Yeah, it was a serious question, exactly. Like I was really like because my brain changes topics so quick, like without even like an intermission, you know? So my mind went from like insulting him and then right to like, wait, is he gay? Like not knowing if he was gay or not. I don't give a crap. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I've tried snails and mushroom caps only.
Okay, let's shut her up for a minute because I want to show you guys something. And I did not know this was a thing, but it is kind of a thing. And it matters here. Because those of us that react to Chantal, the way she talks, she'll start a sentence and then she'll just abandon it because she gets distracted by the food or whatever. Something you guys should know. And again, I didn't know this. I learned it recently, but I want to show it all to you. So again, we went on Dr. Google, and I'm not diagnosing Chantal, but here is something that you guys should know. Look at this. Obesity can affect the brain in the following ways. Brain scans show patterns of shrinkage in regions involved in learning, memory, and judgment. Chronic low-grade inflammation linked to obesity may lead to cognitive impairment, mood disorders, and increased risk of neurodegenerative diseases. Obesity impairs the brain's ability to detect fullness, important, and feel satisfied after sugar and fat consumption. Ooh, that's a big one. Let's read that again. Obesity impairs the brain's ability to detect fullness and feel satisfied after sugar and fat consumption. So there she is with a full-blown, full-on raging food addiction. And if her obesity has affected her brain in this way, it would make sense because she doesn't know when she's full. She doesn't want to acknowledge when she's full. She doesn't feel satisfied. She eats a lot of sugar. Obesity can alter brain structure and speed the progression of Alzheimer's disease. Hey, Chantal, did you know that? I didn't know that. I just learned that. Let's read that one more time. Obesity can alter brain structure and speed the progression of Alzheimer's disease. Let's also go down here. How does obesity affect brain health? Research shows obesity impacts brain health from childhood well into adulthood. And Chantal's, she's been dealing with her food problems since she was very young, affecting everything from executive brain function skills, the complex ability to initiate, plan, and carry out. Hold on, are we going somewhere? Oh, yes, we're going somewhere. And this is courtesy of heart.org. I want to give proper credit to the source, of course. Let's see. Okay, research shows obesity impacts brain health from childhood well into adulthood, affecting everything from executive function skills, the complex ability to initiate, plan, and carry out tasks, to substantially raising dementia risk. By middle age, the consequences of excessive weight are substantial. Several studies have shown middle-aged adults who have a body mass index BMI at or above 30, and she's well over that, which qualifies as obesity, and she's super morbidly obese, so she's way over that, are more likely to get dementia than their healthy weight peers. So something to think about. Something to think about. Something to think about, Chantal. Something to think about. For those who are wondering, like, why does she always lose her train of thought? I am not diagnosing Chantal. I am not a doctor. Only a doctor would be able to help her and know what's going on with her on all areas of her life. But for those of us who are wondering, why can't she just carry a thought? Why can't she complete a sentence? Maybe there's something going on there that has to do with the brain and her obesity. Let's keep going, though. I just want to throw that in for interesting context.
Forgiveness is so beautiful. Yeah, like, yeah. But anyways, we're not talking about any friggin'. We're not talking about Bordy Jordy. We're not talking about like any. What
She
about?
doesn't want to talk about it. She's in trouble. She didn't want to talk about it. Let's pivot out of that corner real quick.
To talk about this person, like, just be quiet about it. Yeah, I think so. I think in a marriage. Yeah. Thai food is bomb. Yeah.
Moving on.
It feels homey. Yeah. The negative things. You ever notice that? Go home. No, it's not. It's not just easy like that. You can't just go home if you're in another country.
Yes, you can. I mean, I wouldn't recommend travel for you right now because you're sick. And if you got on a plane, you might make other people sick. But you can go home. You can go. You can find a way. Where there's a will, there's a way. You can think about it, execute it, done. You don't want to go back. You want to know why? Because you know if you go back, you will. You talk about us taking the L. You can't take the L. You could not handle the crap that girl world would throw at you if you had to go back and stay in a motel room for, say, a week or 2 weeks. We give you crap about that. You know we would. Just because of all the crap and the trash that you talked about the Motel 6. You had your nose in the air. You wouldn't just ride it out. You got to keep that public face going on. That you're in a tower above us all. All of us are peasants. You're better than all of us. If you went back home to Canada and had to stay in a motel room, you wouldn't be able to be above anybody. You'd be on the ground with the rest of the peasants, and you can't deal with that.
You know, like, why? I should tough it out. I should try to have fun.
But you're not having fun.
a sourpuss. You know, it would be good for me. It would be a win-win. Mm, I don't know. Are you okay? Like, how do you think about a market ban? Someone from buying stuff from him. What did he ask? I don't understand. Have you been banned from 7-Eleven? um, yeah, why would I be banned? I don't
Because you're not allowed to film there and you've been filming there.
do anything. I just go in and get my shit and get out.
Yeah, and you filmed the entire time and you were told the last time, don't bring your camera in with you when you disobeyed.
Maybe the Slurpee cup incident.
Yeah, well, that was rather rude. You're walking through the place, you're pushing past people, they were trying to get out of your way. You took things off one shelf, put it on another, and then you made a slushy, and then you just left it there. Yeah, I'd ban you from 7-Eleven too for doing that.
Did you say that there was a creator named Sansa Cooks?
What about Sansa? She's wonderful. Everybody loves Sansa, and I must say, some hush.
Who does videos?
Sorry, that was from Twitter. Let me turn off Twitter. That was another clip. My apologies. I thought I was on the original clip. Keep going. What about Sansa, who does wonderful videos and breaks down the macros, and she's got a wonderful calming voice? What about Sansa?
Videos like made pandan rolls. Is that true? Bitch, I lost 2 kilograms within 2 weeks. Send me a picture of your food, babe.
Why?
Yeah, you're subconscious in it.
I'm sure Salah is eating a lot better since Chantal's gone, because when she was around, she ate all the doggone food.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. 7-Eleven bees are like, that's like an example of like person who actually like puts like some thought and like care into their videos. It seems like, you know.
Ma'am, you can't, again, you can't criticize anybody for their content while you're laying there in bed. You won't even sit up and talk to people. Barely anything to talk about. Talk about childhood stories, putting on makeup, or eating food because you're running up the meter just to get more Google AdSense money. No, you can't criticize.
Like, just when people say like, you know, like it's a good idea, like to, if you're gonna like make videos off of an internet character, you know, something like that is creative because you're making, that's cool. Like you're making a recipe from, you know, and you're giving information that maybe I don't give, or so it's like kind of complementing my content, not doing having.
So what exactly is she saying? What is the message here, y'all? She's saying that although she is the content creator, she's the original content creator of her content on her channel, and she makes absolutely no effort. No, there's no sense of pride here. There's no sense of self-worth. There's no effort put forth to make her interesting. We're supposed to do it. We're supposed to take her boring content where there's little to talk about because she's in the same room doing the same thing every day. We're supposed to take this boring, bland potato soup and make it spicy for her just because she's a lazy cook and she doesn't want to add the spice herself or check to see if it tastes good before she serves it. She wants us to work double hard to keep her interesting. At the same time, she's not willing to work on it. Although it's her channel and she's the one that she makes money off her content, this is all she's got. And despite the fact that it's all she's got, she's not willing to give it her all like she used to, because she used to. Chantal used to be very on top of her content, thinking of new story arcs and I got to be unpredictable and I got to do the unexpected. And that's what people tuned in for. They didn't know what was going on with her and when. But then she just stopped. She ran out of ideas, or she ran out of energy, or both. But she wants us to make her interesting. You got to give us something, Chantal. You're giving us nothing. You don't have to fight with us. You don't have to come on camera bombed out of your head. Just be interesting. And if you want praise from us, do something praiseworthy. I'm a fair person. If you screwed your big head on your shoulders nice and tight, and you said, you know what? Enough with this. Enough. I can't go any further. I'm going to work out. I'm going to take care of my physical health, my mental health, even though I don't like you. And I think you're evil, and you are. I would praise the good that you're doing for yourself. If you did it. If you worked out, truly. You took care of your mental health, truly. I would praise you for that. I would say, good job, Chantal. Good job. Keep on with that. But you refuse to do anything good. So you're not going to get any praise as long as you act like this.
The opposite effect. You see what I'm saying? So, I don't know. I'm not comfortable right now, by the way.
Then get up, stupid.
I know.
You're laying down. Get up.
No, I blocked that person for saying rent a microwave, and then I might do it. I'm such a jerk.
You are. Did she really do that? Did she block somebody just because they said, hey, rent a microwave? They were giving a suggestion and she blocked a person over that? Wow. And she also blocked that person who sent her a care package that she's currently using. Beezers, why are you there?
Like, I need to unblock some people, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. And I was watching a recap video. And according to the recap video, Chantal and Salah, they have blocked over 400 people this month. 400. But that's nothing. Back in Chantal's Canadian Villa days, I remember nights when she would sit there and she would just have her natitude crashing from the powder from the night before. And she would go on blocking sprees, blocking 60, 70, 80 people at a time. Like her finger would be flying all over the screen. So she blocks people out of ego. And then when the money goes down, then there's a sense of regret because she realizes how much she screwed herself money-wise. I need to unblock some people. Now, what you need to do beyond unblocking people is do interesting content.
Hi, Energy. You guys know who MFW is? I'm not like exactly like her, but she's also an Aries. And I'm an Aries.
And I will never forget when you went on panel with MFW and she cursed you out because of the allegations you made against Natter and you said you lied. Oh, she gave you a cursing out. It was lovely. It was so good. She lets you have it.
We're very fiery.
I don't like MFW, but I was on board with her getting cursed out.
And the way she angers at her audience, I'm not as bad. Like I don't.
Yes, you are.
You know, yell racist things and stuff.
Yes, you do.
But that kind of explosive anger, like I don't know, I'm just like a bitch sometimes.
Do you know why Chantal doesn't have the explosive anger on her channel anymore? It's not just this image of being the Muslim wife. It's because back in the day, Chantal was making $20,000 to $30,000 a month, and she could afford to be that offensive. She could afford to be that rude. Her money wasn't seriously dented at that point. But over the course of time, she's been losing members and money. She can't afford to be rude. She can't afford that explosive anger. And what would happen if she showed it? She's got an anger problem that she's never put in check. But she'd learn to keep her mouth shut because she realizes if she goes off on her members for whatever reason, like hardcore, she would lose what little bit she's got left. Anger and rudeness are very, very expensive. And she has paid the price. And she's still paying it. So she's playing nice right now, but nice is not what she truly is.
I can't help it. I get annoyed easy sometimes. Why should they ban someone? Like, why? Like, what is the reason? Okay, they could ban someone in 7-Eleven if someone entered 7-Eleven and started running around the store singing "Ah, la, 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 bamba" really loud for no reason.
What? And how would you know this? This is so stupid.
They would probably arrest somebody for doing that. Right, babe? It's like raining hardcore.
Am I a weirdo? If I were to be in Thailand and it's raining, I'd be running out in the rain, just having a good old time. Am I a weirdo for doing that? For thinking that way? I wouldn't let the rain stop me. I would just be doing stuff anyhow.
And thunder and lightning. You guys want to watch a lightning storm? Let me check my battery. 26. Yeah, we could probably sit outside for like 2 minutes. Come on. Yalla, let's go. I need to give you guys a Thailand experience.
Yeah, well, this ain't it. Being in a hotel room and just pointing your camera out the window ain't it. Certainly not a reason to spend thousands on a plane ticket and go to Thailand.
Hey.
Like, if I wanted to see a good video of rain outside the window, there's plenty of ambiance videos online without taking the doggone trip.
Whoa. That's as close as I can get. It's like raining. Ew, it's raining on me.
She looks wrecked.
Yeah, bye for us. Okay, goodbye. There we go. Now it's too dark. Like, there can't be an in-between.
Nope. Hey, Miss Professional YouTuber, why don't you go buy some lights? Like you should.
Why do beers taste so good after so much work? Potato now.
And here we go with the putting on the makeup. I don't know what else to do. I don't know what else to say. So I'm going to put my makeup on just to have something to do. Even though it's 8:45 at night and I got to go to bed, I'm going to go put on makeup right now. What? Huh? She's not going anywhere.
Baked Canadian, who? You're funny. Oh, okay.
Let's move ahead. I don't want to see her put makeup on.
The pinned message is bugging me, man. Oh, no. Did I delete your message? What? No. I don't know what I'm doing.
She looks so hamburger-eyed. Look at those eyes. Look. Look. I'll blow it up. Yes or no, people in the comments section. Look at that face. That is not somebody who's tired. And those are not sick eyes. Those are not tired eyes. Those are hamburger eyes. That is edibles. Yes, it is. I've seen that look too many times. She is wrecked. Wrecked. And if she took edibles at the beginning of the stream, let's see. We're at 57 minutes and 12 seconds. Yeah, right about now, they should be hitting her hard.
It's nothing against you, Jessica. You feel me?
Why is she putting makeup on? Why is she putting makeup on? Look at her eyes, dude. Look at that eye. Red. Doesn't that hurt? Why is she putting the eyeliner inside the eye? That has to hurt.
Eyes are so red.
Then why are you doing it? And that is just so healthy that if she's got some kind of cold or flu virus or whatever, and her eyes are red, she might have pink eye. Is it a good idea to put makeup on an eye that has pink eye because you're just transferring the germs onto your makeup? Then you got to turn around and throw the makeup away. Ow, it hurts me just looking at it.
Right. But that's not a priority in my life, honestly. Who cares? Anyway, I like that. I actually like sort of a benefit of sleeping alone. Thanks, Golden Girl.
God, that looks terrible. You know what? That's perfect. She looks perfect. Remember what I said about Chantal being photogenic? She looks so photogenic here. Girl, I need a thumbnail, and that just looks great. You look great, Chantal. You're going to make a great thumbnail. That's right. Carry on, madam. Carry on. Do what you do. Appreciate it.
The panel stream together.
Oh, I skipped ahead.
Back scratcher. Why a back scratcher? May was an abomination. Read my comment. What the hell? Why don't I see your comment? I didn't see Issa P's either, or Whimsy. Creepy, Lizzie. Oh my God. Thanks, Aya. Thank you, Goblin Queen. I appreciate that. My mouth is dry. I need water.
Yeah, you know what? I think the edibles are hitting her because her speech is slowing down. She's getting more of the hamburger eyes. Yeah, they're hitting her hard. And that was always a problem with Chantal back in the Canadian Villa days. She would just take edible after edible after edible, popping them like Tic Tacs. And then like 45 minutes to an hour later, they'd all hit at once. And then she would just be incoherent. I'm feeling kind of some of that right now.
Yeah. I'm not going to eat anything. I'm joking.
Is she in the dark the whole time?
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? She's slowing down. She's really slowing down. I'm not here for all that, for her hair babbling once the edibles hit. So we'll end it here. What do you guys think? Good call? I think so. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this react. If you have, please like and subscribe and leave a comment. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Until then, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye.